3 years ago, it became clear to me that blockchain gaming would be the future of gaming. True ownership of the items we earn in a game will change the landscape of gaming and the gaming world forever. And top games will rake in millions and even billions in revenues. Now, some of the blockchain games being developed or conceptualized now will likely be the leaders of this new frontier, setting revenue records that will get the world's attention. Now, I was an early investor in Axie Infinity and Gods Unchained, and both did exceptionally well for me. Today, I want to bring you another game that has some very interesting things about it that could make it a leader in the wave of games that are competing for gamers' attentions. The CEO of Sidus Heroes is joining us today, so stay tuned and listen as he shares what they have accomplished so far, what they're working on now, and what they feel the game will look like in the coming years. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain, and if you like money in crypto and you're looking for a real investor take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. Do note, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself, and I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel because I don't talk about crypto projects I don't believe in, and I do own some of the game tokens for Sidus, and I do own some of the NFTs. Special thanks to our Patreon members. We do have a private Discord that our Patreon members get access to. We'll make it rain on that like button and strap in for the show. Let's welcome Dan Khom to the Crypto Rain channel. Dan, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey guys. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thanks for having me today. Pleasure.
Yeah, no, thankfully you spent a little bit of time showing me the depth behind what Sidus already has released. I didn't realize how much depth there was already and how actually there's a great opportunity to go ahead and earn some things that you were showing me. I wondered if you could tell the audience a little bit about the game, then I'd love it if you could share your screen and we could jump into a little about the pretty basic, but it's pretty exciting what you can earn with it, gameplay there is now, and what your vision for the medium and long term is.
Absolutely, yeah, no worries. Well, before we get started, obviously I will share the screen now in a sec. So before we get started, I just want to sort of like try to broadly explain the entire concept of Sidus and try to basically deliver that message to you guys in a way of a very understandable form of as to what we are building here. We are building something extraordinary. Not many gaming studios were brave enough to challenge themselves to build something in browser, and we've done so. We've actually achieved an exceptional result of building the metaverse, and yes, it is going to be a metaverse full of adventures and different games and different landscapes and locations for you to enjoy, but it's all in the browser. Not Unreal Engine, not Unity, but actual browser that would allow you to really get into it without too much of a complexity and without a need to have some very expensive hardware. Forget about PlayStation 5s, forget about PlayStation 4s, Xboxes, Nintendos, etc. iPhones 12 and 13s and 14s. You know, if you have an average device and you're living somewhere in Myanmar, Philippines, Africa, you know, second, third, first world countries, doesn't matter where, you would be able to get into the browser, type in play.sidusheroes.com and join the adventure, join the journey, and you know, could be a game changer for many of you guys. That could be a game changer for me as well, because I do play on the regular basis and I really enjoy as to what we're built. I'm very passionate about it, and the entire team is dedicating 4.5 years of their lifetime to build this massive metaverse full of things that you've never seen before. The other thing to mention is that because it's a browser experience, we are facing a lot of obstacles. We are facing a lot of complexities. We are the first-time explorers. You know, there is nobody in the world that can possibly explain to us how to actually build anything in the browser. It was such an uncertain area. It's a gray area of gaming industry where people try to build stuff, but what you see usually in the browser industry is that you play some very simple games, like little snaky games, little tanky games, etc. Not too much of a complexity at all. And they usually have a lack of graphics. There is just no graphics at all. Usually it's 2D, and if it's a 3D, it has a limitation in terms of its efficiency and the FPS delivery. And that we're trying to solve that. We're trying to create an open world using your browser experience to really give you that opportunity to enjoy an adventure bigger than No Man's Sky, Star Wars, or EVE Online, just from the single access point of view. Once again, simple, and no centralization. Everything we do is purely for the Web3 application, and that's a decentralized approach to allow our players to control a lot of different elements inside of our game, inside of our ecosystem, and really enjoy the whole sort of the whole economy inside of economics inside of our game as well, right? Yeah, so that's what we're trying to achieve. The story of Sidus is also an interesting point to raise, that instead of just making game because we want to make a game, like unfortunately these days you see a lot of PFP collections, make NFT collections, selling them out, and then what next? They think about the use cases. What should we do with this collection? What should we do with this money? We've raised $5 million. What's next? Oh, right, let's make a game. The game is a solution. But in many of these instances and cases, people have a lack of expertise to build games. They have no idea how the game should look, what's the backend for the game, what's the logical sequence of different activities inside of the game. They just want to make a game. They want to spend money because that's the easiest use case they can potentially produce. From my expertise and experience as a gamer, I believe 80% of the existing games in the NFT gamifying industry will disappear, unfortunately, because there is a lack of comprehension in terms of the tokenomics. Not many are actually thinking deeply in terms of how to execute certain things like labor market, political scheme systems, spaceship adventures, modifications, upgrades, land plots developments, and many other use cases that are simply lacking and just not really existing in many infrastructural Web3 gaming applications in the current market conditions. And they're not really interested to develop it. So this is what we are good at. We are trying to develop an interesting journey for you guys, the game that where you're going to play and you really enjoy, get the full feeling of what enjoy is, and not just simply play because you want to grind, because you want to get resources that you want to sell for ETH, but you want to keep these resources to keep reinvesting it back into the game, buying more gear, upgrading your spaceships, building stuff that you've never built before, and become someone that you always wanted to become in the real life: a politician, a lawyer, a jeweler, a woodcutter, a navigation officer, a pilot, a soldier. Anyone you want to be will definitely provide that opportunity to you within this Sidus metaverse as well. So that would be a very enjoyable part. One point to mention is our metaverse is not just randomly built. We have an American author who is writing a book for us called Sidus, The Adventure of Sidus. And there will be 3 books released. The first book has already been completed. It's almost been completed. We're finalizing everything and stuff, and we'll publish it for free. So you would be able to download this book, read it, enjoy it. It's a beautiful adventure. And the reason why we're making a book is because it really gives you the feeling as to what to expect in the metaverse. And it really shares the story. When you watch movies like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, the book was the first part, right? And then there was a movie. So when you as a reader gets into the adventure, you read the book, you're really getting that feeling of the adventurous journey that you can go through with Harry Potter, or with the hobbits from Lord of the Rings, and then you watch the movie with excitement, and that's what we do here as well. We are building the whole logical sequence of things that you can really feel, not just the game itself, but tangible items, book, download it or print it or buy it from the store, read it, enjoy it, and then join the metaverse as well. That's something we're trying to make ourselves different from others as well. Try to create a huge merch line, not just the clothing, but also some excellent, interesting items, little toys for gamers or kids, books, and some other stuff as well. So I'm sure people will definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, so just to recap,
Yeah,
basically one of your goals is to make it so it's playable through a browser. That way anybody with a phone, anybody with a simple computer can play, rather than being
correct.
locked into people that have a powerful gaming machine, so that you can reach a broader audience down the road.
That's right.
What's interesting is how far your game is already, right? Because serious games take years and years and years to develop. And what was fun is you were showing me some of the depth of the gameplay, and it's at least as deep as Axie Infinity is. And this is just a very simple gameplay that you gave people so that they could actually earn stuff and then invest what they're earning into the game. And those kind of mechanisms were incredible. And I'd love it if you would take a minute to kind of walk people
Absolutely.
through what the gameplay is already and what they can earn by playing. And let me bring up your screen. Um, there we go, so that you can then share with them where
Yeah.
things are at, and if they were interested in Sidus, um, how it all works. I appreciate you took some time out of your schedule at NFT NYC to talk to Doctor of Stuff and I. And we were both pretty blown away with your bigger vision, but also where the game was and just some of the things that you were doing that we wanted to ask you on the show. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I'll try to make it simple for you guys. I'll take you through all steps from start to the access to the game itself. Keep in mind the game is currently in the early beta stage right now, so it's not the final product. We still have a long way to develop this game. We have 4 years of a development, but our philosophy is to show something from scratch instead of hiding things until the years and years of finalization. So we want to be transparent to our community. That's why we've launched the game in a very raw version. And then every week on Wednesday and Thursday, we are rolling out some new updates. So you see the entire progress and the improvement of game weekly. And that's what basically makes the community loyal, is when they see transparency coming from the project and the game itself. And that's what you see in our Discord, is that people are super active and they're super dedicated because they understand they're in the right place, doesn't matter what, and that the team is very transparent. So what you do here right now in the Sidus metaverse is that in order for you to gain access to the game, you have to buy an NFT, right? That's done purposely to limit too many people from accessing the game right now, because keep in mind, the game currently is in the beta stage, and we are purposely doing it quietly. We don't do any marketing because we are not ready to take too many players as into it as yet, because we are getting ready for a massive marketing campaign, which will get initiated very soon, and then the players will not be a problem at all. But now we're in the preparation stage. We have to develop things in a consistent manner. So you go to the OpenSea. There are 2 different collections that you can buy right now. The first one is the Sidus NFT Heroes. It's the Genesis collection, made in September 2022. 2021, in the collaboration with the studio called NFT 256. That's a studio run by a guy who worked previously in the Disney studio, and he works with more than 250 artists, very talented young guys, and they've made more than 5,000 handmade elements, 500 handmade backgrounds, and many interesting things that were generated into this interesting conceptual art that you see on the screen. Every character is super unique. They look like junkies from the future. Some of them are ugly, some of them are nice, but that's the way it is. That's create the uniqueness of the collection. There are 3 different rarities. There is a common rarity, there is a rarity of epicness, and there is a legendary rarity as well. When you press legendaries, the legendaries are very expensive these days, because if you want to become a president inside of the Sidus station, you have to own one of these legendary characters, and they are expensive right now. They're like 10 ETH right now. Not many people are willing to sell them, unfortunately. So what happens next is once you buy these characters, and once you buy the excess cards from the other collection, if you're not able to afford this expensive Genesis collection, don't worry. Just type in Sidus items, and you will see the first link with the Ethereum sign. Please do not press Polygon, because these links are scammy. They're not our legitimate links. Do not touch them. Only the first Ethereum link, you press on it and it takes you to the screen with the, sorry, I'll just get rid of the button. It takes you to the part with the access cards. So what are the access cards? Before we launch, after we launched the Genesis collection, then we've launched another collection called Academy collection. And the Academy collection sold quite a few pieces to anyone who wanted to participate in the early stage beta. And in order for them to access this beta, we've released these special access cards, we call it. So what happens is you got to buy this access card. I will buy it for you right now online. So we just press buy. Then we choose, I understand the risks because we have not been verified as yet. Then we check out. Then we buy this NFT. We confirm the transaction. The purchasing is happening. Let's wait a little bit. To apologize for a delay, guys.
Yeah, Vitalik supposedly is working on that.
Oh, yeah. They could do better.
They could.
So the purchase is completed. What's going to happen next is we go to the website, sidusheroes.com. We just type it in. We go to the main website. And in the top panel, we choose the first section and we choose Sidus Gateway. There is a button here called Sidus Gateway. We press on that part. And it takes us to the connection MetaMask wallet page. So we just connect the MetaMask wallet. I connect it to the wallet that I used to buy the NFT card. And what we can see here is we have one Academy common card available to be staked onto our layer 2 solution. So you have to understand we have layer 2 inside of our game. The reason why we created our own layer 2 solution is because everything that happens inside of the game has to be super quick. Wrapping, transactions, executions has to be super efficient. Unfortunately, layer 1, Ethereum is struggling to do so. That's why, we've tried to simplify it for you and make it as cheap as possible. So everything that happens inside of the game is almost costless. $0.000001. Okay, cheap. You don't really worry about gas fees at all. So what happens is you choose the card that you purchased, you press your ticket, and then you press transfer. And then you sign the transaction on your MetaMask wallet. Once you confirm it, what happens next is the loading screen comes up, and then it burns your NFT access card to create it on the layer 2 solution inside of the game. Okay, so let's just wait for it. Okay,
so we
the transaction,
taking it from OpenSea, taking that then inside the game on the layer 2, and essentially right now it's now on the layer 2.
Precisely right, correct. That's
perfect.
And so we go back and then we go into the game. So we just go into play.sidusheroes.com. We type in where we can actually go back to the website, and we can press game right here. Okay, so we press game and it takes us straight to the screen of verification. That's where your NFT card plays a very important role. If you have not purchased your card, if you have not burned it, the system would not allow you to access early beta. Okay, that's very important, guys. So we press connect and then we connect it to the MetaMask wallet, sign. The transaction is executed. Obviously, the transaction is free. It's just a verification process. We are waiting for the data to be loaded. Here we go. So we got access to the game now. Okay. So what happens is, in order for us to find our gray common card, we press collection and we scroll down all the way down, like to find this collection. There we go. So see, we have this Sidus Academy card appearing right on my screen. I have a lot of cards, but I'm just showing you how the whole thing is working, right? What happens next is we have to release a character from this card. In order for us to release the character, we press release, and it takes us to the screen of race selection. So there will be 12 different races available inside of our metaverse. They will be highly customizable. You can change the colors, the names, the characteristics, the shapes, so many different varieties. But for now, we have only 3. Okay, we have Voltrons, the planet of electricity. We have Augia from the planet of fire, and we have Raptorians from the planet of swamps, or the planet of water. Okay, I'll quickly show you all of them. Hopefully they will load up very quickly. I do apologize for my internet. So that's the Augia guy, so I can see that. And we can see the Raptorians as well. Raptorians are looking like trolls in a way, probably.
Kind of like a lizard and a troll mated.
Oh yeah, lizards, there you go, yeah. There you go, we've got a blue one here. Beautiful. So what happens next is we have to customize them, right? So we change the name, we change it to, let's say, let's make it, I don't know, Blue Allegiant. There we go, Blue Allegiant. That's fitting the color. And we can change the shape. So let's say if we put attack, the guy becomes a little bit more muscly, okay? If we change the vitality makes it a little bit more lizardy, okay? If we change it to agility, it makes it nice and thin for us, all right? If we change the defense, it grows it to be muscly as well. And then what happens is once you choose your characteristics, you can choose like this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And once you've done that part, you press release, okay? And you press confirm. And what happens is the new NFT is being minted. We can see it here. It's going to appear. Oh, there we go. It's loading up. See that? It's loading up. The snapshot is being taken on the layer 2 along with your appearance. So when you take it to the OpenSea, this is how it's going to look, along with all properties that you've designed, along with your characteristics or anything that you've done as well. On my screen here, I will have a lot of other characters. For example, I have some legendary characters. I have some epic characters that are looking like purple guys here. And every of these characters have different capabilities, different items inside of it. For example, let's say I want to release legendary card. I press release. What we would be able to see here is the difference of colors of the name. So there will be no more selections of names, and there will be some randomized skin as well. So you can actually change the colors of your characters using skin selection as well. So let's wait until that thing is loaded, so I can show you how it actually looks. A little bit of a time. I apologize for that. Let me reload the page. There we go. So we can see this guy here, for example, that has a different appearance, right? That has a legendary appearance already. So if we want to change the skin, we press randomize skin and it changes different colors for us. It changes the appearance and stuff. Makes it a little bit more cooler, right? So yeah, that's the privilege of legendaries and epics. Commons do not have that option as yet, but we will soon implement it for you. So you can change the different colors of your characters, no problems at all, but you have to pay Sidus tokens for it, okay? For legendaries, it's free. For commons, you have to pay some extra, unfortunately. That's the way it is. Yeah, so once you've released the characters, it will appear in your collection, okay? Now, let's say we want to get rid of these guys. And what happens next? What happens next? What you see now is the early stage beta. In the upcoming versions, the lobby will be much more comprehensive. It will be 3D and it will be super interactive. But now we've made it simple, because simplicity is the key in the beta. Like, beta is all about testing instead of nice graphics, okay? That's what you have to understand. So everything has to work perfectly, etc. So we can choose now the character that we want to place as the main character that we want to use in the battlefield. So let's say we want to choose this dude here. We want to choose Voltrons here as well. And we want to choose Augia guy, right? I'll say this guy here, Augia. So now we've placed 3 different characters in the lobby to fight for us. So now it's the team of 3, 2 or 1. You can play against other players 1-on-1, 2-2, or 3-3. In the future, it will only be 3-3. However, if you only have one character, it will place you in the matchmaking room where you have to wait for another player with 2 characters to join in, and then you will play 3-3 as a team together if it makes sense. Okay, you will play against other players who maybe have one character each, and there will be 3 different players, one character, one character, one character, placed in the matchmaking room, and then the battle will happen. So this is an access point, right? This is where you start. What will happen next is when you press play button, in the future, it will give you a selection of things that you can do. It's either you can access the open world, you can access tower defense, you can access shooter, FPS shooter, like a Fortnite or Counter-Strike style, strategy, Butler, and many, many other games. You know, in order for us to build the metaverse, we realized that we cannot do it ourselves. We have to invite many different gaming studios to work with us, right? And by realizing that, that made our job much easier. Now we have a lot of gaming studios who are currently working on different categories of games. So we have a tower defense game being built for us by the different gaming studio, but it will be a part of our metaverse. So these games will use the same resources that you win in the battles, the same tokens, the same characters, the same spaceships, the same tokens. Everything is unified. Every single game that you see would be unified together in a single ecosystem or a single Sidus metaverse. So when you go to your inventory, all of your weapons, all of your gadgets that you would see in the game, like different shapes, different characteristics and stuff, all of your resources, like composite resources, for example, some carbon steel resources or some other resources that you win in the games, loot boxes, right? So like gem boxes, for example, or some loot boxes or some legendary ones, silver ones, epic ones, or common ones. Everything is unified. So let's say we want to open one, and if we open one, basically it gives us 1155's NFTs, right? So we've got some materials right now. We can open the other one. Let's say we want to open the legendary one, and it will give us some other resources
Love
that
the
will also
animation on
be.
that.
Thank you. These NFTs are also ERC721 here as a gadget. We have 1155s, 1155, 1155, 1155. So they're all NFTs on layer 2. Once we press close, they're all going to your inventory on the layer 2 as well, right? And things like this. Now, what happens next is you take your character from the collection. Let's say we take some random dude here, with the one that we've created together, right? And then we want to put some weapons or gadgets inside of these guys. So we go, all of my weapons are busy now. Let me just take another dude here. So we'll just unequip. So we'll take our guy, that one that we've created, okay? And we go to the weapons. Now we've got one weapon available for us. So what happens is we drag this weapon into one of the NFT items of this character and we place it in. The new NFT is generated now. The new ERC721 that is wrapped up with another NFT, okay? Just 1 second, guys. I have to open the door for someone. If you can give me a second, please.
Sure.
Can we cut that part a little bit later? Yeah. Sorry, just 1 sec. Hold on.
While he's stepping away, hopefully you can see just how deep this goes, right? And this is a lot of fun. I wanted to show there's a place that you can earn by playing. So he basically showed you how to set up your team, and you can earn by playing. What you can earn, then you can actually invest that will create some passive income for you. So you're able to play right now, and every time you win, you get some items. If you win like 5 in a row, then you get a loot box that you can open up. And in that loot box, you get some items. So they've done a lot to engage their community that is mind-blowing. I mean, really cool what they've done, which is what's created such a thriving community for them. So as Doctor of Stuff and I talked to Dan, we were just blown away with what they had done already. A lot of the games that are in development now, one of the problems with games is they just take so long to develop a real good game. one of the solutions that just a few teams have done is give people something that they can do now so that they don't have to be completely bored while waiting forever for something in the future to come out. Like in gaming and regular gaming, there's a game I've been waiting that's been in development, and you can actually play the open beta, but it's literally been in development for like 10 years. It's called Star Citizen, and possibly they'll actually have an actual release another year or 2 or 3. And so game development does not usually take that long. That is kind of the signature of the person that's leading that game, is that he takes a very long time to develop the games that he's working on. But in the meantime, it's good to have something to play and earn while you realize something bigger, much bigger, is being built. And so when Dan comes back, I want to ask him to share some of what's going on with how you can invest and what you can earn by playing and how that can get invested. Now, some of this is filling up already because there are people that have been playing this game daily in order to then put the materials that they've been earning into some items in the game that will actually earn them some passive income over time. And I'm all about passive income. I think we've only touched the surface on the kind of passive income that can end up coming out of some of these games that end up having long lifespans. So I always think about 50 years ago or 80 years ago, being able to buy land in the city of New York City and how valuable that's become over time. And imagine if you could buy some land, or you could buy some way invest in a game that ends up doing really well, and you cement the opportunity for passive income. And say that game ends up having a really long lifespan, the kind of passive income you might be able to earn from a game as blockchain gaming goes worldwide might be unfathomable. So what games exactly are going to have that kind of success? Well, it's really hard to tell. I did invest in Axie Infinity. I did invest in Gods Unchained, and they were very lucrative investments. I'm continually looking for games that will be on the cutting edge, that will produce a really good game, something that people want to see. All right, Dan's back with us. Let me bring him back.
Yeah. Sorry,
Dan,
guys.
in the meantime, I was just
I've got
sharing some of my thoughts with the audience.
excellent. Yeah, I do apologize, guys. I had some installation coming in. It's just because I work from home, so it just makes it easier for me. Anyway, so what we saw here, I do appreciate it. Thanks for a little influx of information that is really useful, for sure. Basically, you see the character, right? And there is a weapon inside of it. So that means there is a new NFT generated. Now it's a new ERC721 with the weapon inside of it. Okay, so when we go back to the collection and we search for this guy, we can see this card has already a little inclusion with the weapon in it. And what that means is that if we take this card back to the open sea, people would be able to buy this card along with the weapon inside of it. Okay. And that basically makes it easy for them to identify, okay, this character has a weapon. Okay, so I'm buying a character with the weapon that has already a pretty cool concept inside of it, if it makes sense.
Yeah, that's really cool. So essentially,
and it comes with all properties as well. Yeah.
Cool. Now, would you be able to show the gameplay, maybe a round of the gameplay, as well as I would love for the audience to see what the different things that you can already invest in the game, and how is the function for those items comes into play, how the residual income with that will happen.
Of course, yeah. So once you win some resources or items and stuff, then you think, well, what can I do with that, right? So the question is, what's next? And that comes to the modules. That is a part of our business, a very essential part of our business, and very important for you to understand. Basically, every certain service inside of our metaverse is like a module. It's like a service that generates an income that serves a certain purpose. Imagine you are going to the shopping center and you go into the coffee shop. A coffee shop is the module. Is the part of it's like a part of the ecosystem of the shopping center, right? So it generates an income. So imagine you become a little co-owner of this of this little coffee shop. You can do that by contributing some resources and assets and tokens to this coffee shop to give them an extra incentive to make a further developments inside of their coffee shop to improve the number of tables or improve the quality of their coffee to increase their profitability. And by doing it, you are getting a royalty from every cup of coffee they're selling inside of their coffee shop as well. Okay, the same applies here within this metaverse of Sidus. Every service is like a module: the store, the marketplace, the reproduction facility, the shipyard, staking, scholarship, different games. It's like a little module inside of our game, right? For example, imagine co-owning a little part of the OpenSea and be eligible to receive royalty from all profits of the OpenSea. Well, this is what we're creating here. We're giving you a chance to invest your resources and assets to be a co-owner of these services inside of our metaverse. So you really can be a co-owner of the entire marketplace. So everyone who is coming to this marketplace and using it, they will pay a little fee that goes to who? To you, as a part of your ownership percentage. So here on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see my percentage of ownership of the marketplace. So I've been investing daily. I have the same conditions as any other player. And I've been dedicating my time to wake up in the morning and contributing some resources, some tokens, some resources and assets into this particular module. And there are 993 investors already in the marketplace module. What does that mean? So for example, we want to invest more Captain, right? So you see my percentage now is 2.18394%. If I invest more Captain now, let's say we invest 27 Captain, we press invest, my percentage will get changed. See, it just changed to 515, okay? So that means my ownership of the royalty will increase. And that means that anyone who is paying a fee to the marketplace for a certain transaction will pay a little part of it to my wallet as well, if it makes sense. So we can open the leaderboard, for example, and we can see all MetaMask wallets that have invested in this particular module. And there are 993 different people who are constantly playing the game and they're investing into the modules. The same applies to the shipyard, for example, or reproduction facility. For example, the scholarship, my position is number 21. Like I only have 0.52% of the entire royalty that coming to me, right? And I can still invest. Like I press scholarship and I choose materials that I want to contribute. Let's say I want to put some CNET tokens. I press CNET, I press max. Keep in mind, there is a daily limit. We've done it purposely to make you log in every single day and dedicate some time to think about what you're going to invest your assets into. That's very important because that becomes the regular job for you. And why it's important? Because you're being a part of something very exclusive. There will be no more marketplaces. There will be no more scholarship modules. This is your only chance to invest assets right now, because once we'll have thousands and hundreds and thousands of players, they would not have a privilege to invest into these modules anymore because these modules will be built. You'll be the exclusive owner of something that would not happen again, if it makes sense. So if there is a coffee shop and you invested into it, no other investors can invest because you are already a co-owner and you're not selling your equity inside of this coffee shop. So let's say we are investing CNET token and my percentage will get changed to 0.53 now. There we go. So my percentage has increased. And maybe I've improved my position in the leaderboard. Now I'm still 21, unfortunately. So if you're
have huge percentages because they are working hard every single day.
These guys are working hard. And if you're in the top 10, you get extra bonus from the system. So if you're number one, you get extra 3% from all profits. Imagine someone is spending, let's say, $1 million in the scholarship module. And there is a fee of 5%. So $50,000. These guys are going to get a whole bunch of money just going to his wallet for doing nothing. You can go to sleep and wake up in the morning and have a couple of $1,000s sitting in your bank account inside of the Sidus. That's pretty cool. And that works with every single module, like marketplace, shipyard, reproduction facility. There'll be more to come, but those are the core modules. Those modules are the main modules because they're the ones that are creating the infrastructure of the entire metaverse, okay? Marketplace will be used by many people. Store that has already been built, it sells items that you can buy, such as like loot boxes and some skin for your spaceships and many more things as well. Unfortunately, it has already been sold out, right? So it was too quick. And you know, things like this. So it's very, very unique that you can really participate in the current infrastructure of this project and become a co-owner. In order for you to deposit money from layer 1 to layer 2, all you do is just press a little plus at the top of the screen on the right-hand side of the corner. You press on it, and it takes you to the deposit section. The deposit section is the place where you deposit your tokens from layer 1 to layer 2. Okay, so you just press simply deposit. And what happens is you see your balance on the MetaMask wallet, which is layer 1, the one that you connected to this game, and your in-game balance on the layer 2. So my MetaMask wallet balance is 6,352 CNET tokens, and my in-game balance is 10,389 CNET tokens. If I want to put more CNET tokens from layer 1 to layer 2, I just type in the amount of tokens I want to put, and I press deposit. And it usually takes around 45 to 50 seconds to place it from layer 1 to layer 2. Super easy, no problems. All goes into the system straight away, and you get your tokens. With all transaction history, right at the bottom, where you can see the hash, you can see the status, you can see the coin, the asset, from which wallet to which wallet, etc., etc., etc. So it's all very nice and easy. And
So
then you go to
each of these modules have some Senate and Sidus tokens as well, because there's 2 coins for the ecosystem, Senate and the Sidus token, but the rest are items that are earned through actually playing the game, right? The fiberglass, the Kapton.
That's right. Yeah, you can only buy them at the marketplace once it's launched inside of the game. So yeah, you would not be able to buy them anywhere else except buy them from marketplace.
So once the marketplace is open, you'll be able to buy the items. For now, you just have to earn them through getting a starter set at least and playing the game.
Precisely right. Correct. That's right.
Makes sense.
So yeah, let's try to play the game. So what happens next is we got everything ready. We're ready to fight. We press play. The matchmaking system is activated. So we are searching for another player who is willing to fight against us. Depending who is online and who is not, we don't know, but hopefully someone is online now. Keep in mind, we don't have too many players right now because it's an early stage beta, but we have a couple of thousand people playing every single day, which is good. And yeah, like, oh, we got someone here who's ready to fight us. So the screen will load up. So it's another guy with the wallet ending up with EC1C, and he has 3 epics, and he has 3 different weapons. He has 3 different characters as well. So let's see which battle arena we will have on the screen. The battle arenas are selected randomly by the system. It could be a planet of fire, it could be a planet of electricity, it could be a planet of swamps, a whole variation of different planets really that you can fight on. And yeah, just let's wait till everything is loaded.
All right. I'm looking forward to watching this.
Yeah, so when you get in, you can customize many different things. You can customize the music, you can improve the quality of your graphics, or you can reduce it substantially and change it, improve it. Stick with the parallax camera or turn it off, the Q, FPS system, etc. So you can really regulate the screening and the browser experience that you possess. And then we start the action. So let's start. We're going to use this weapon, the bleeding weapon. So what the bleeding weapon means is that we shoot the other player and he starts to bleed. That will take some HP out of him every single turn. So right now it's a butler. It's a turn-by-turn action. It's like more of a Heroes of Magic style. Cards game / 3D graphics. interactive experience in a way. The reason why we've launched this game is we've launched as the first version of games that will be launched by our gaming studio. But there will be much more. There will be open world, tower defense, FPS shooter, and many, many more other games as well, right? So, you know, people will really enjoy things because there will be so much variety of different games they can play. It will be some just, you know, an unbelievable experience in a way. Yeah, so we're having the Ogia spitting the fire at everyone. Then that's their turn now. Also, because it's a turn-by-turn action, it's a logical game. So every move that you make, you have 30 seconds to think. You have to be smart about what you do. For example, if you use fire, then you can use the electric weapon to blow the opponent up. So there is a fire plus electricity means explosion. Okay, so for example, fire plus water. So we have this dude here. He has water. Yeah, he spits the water onto the other guy. Because this guy is circulated by the fire, we can actually explode him now. So when I press water, see that? He's exploding. There we go. He just exploded, and there is more damage that we've caused because of this combination. While we can also heal people. We can use the Raptorians to heal other characters inside of our game, right? So he's just been healed. He had extra 50 HP. And we can only use it once. So every race has its personal native abilities. It has personal skills of attacking, and it also has some defensive skills and some skills that you can use against the other players, like fake death, for example. So when I press this little icon here called fake death, when I press on it, that means it freezes my HP points at that particular level. So my HP point was 726. Or actually not. Yeah, I think it was 726. So what it means is that if they will kill me, if they will kill my character will get restored back to the HP level that it had with the fake death activation, in a way, if it makes sense. So let's say,
so in other words, any damage they did to you is lost if they continue to target that hero, because he gets essentially brought back to that exact level.
That's right, absolutely. Well, see, yeah, let's wait until this dude is killed, and then you will see what I mean. So we're just gonna damage the other guys. Let's try to heal it again. Okay, so you can do it every turn. You have that healing ability. And you can also damage the other people by the water damage. So you know, once again, every element, fire, water, air, electricity, has its personal damages, combinations that you can consider. It's all in the wiki Sidus wiki. On the website, you can actually go and check out. We have a very comprehensive guide about how to play the game and what to do, really. And it really describes about different elements, different combinations of things that you can do, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, so it's cool that you gave us something to do in the meantime, right? While you're working on a much deeper game, at least there's something. And I really like the aspect that you can earn some items that you can then invest in these modules. I mean, that is cutting edge. That,
yeah. So every victory, you get some resources and some assets that you can use. And these resources and assets can be invested into the modules. That's precisely right. What are you saying? That's correct.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I will quickly show you some other stuff. Let me just... Now, as you understand, we are creating quite a few games, right? Tower Defense is one of them as well. Let me just finish this guy. There we go. We killed him finally. Yeah, so let me just launch it and share the screen with you. 1 second. I'll just quickly stop the screen share and then I'll share something else with you guys. So here we have my screen is quite wide, so that could be a little bit small for you guys, but at least you can see it, right? So that's tower defense, right? That's another game that is coming up. So you just press start the mission, you choose the location that you want to play, and then once you chose the location, then you just press play, and it gets into the game, right? That's another game that is coming up soon. Once again, everything is unified, all of your characters or all of your weapons, and resources, etc. And you just start playing, really. Because my game is so because my screen is so wide, it's going to have this little section there that is quite empty, but don't worry about it. Yeah, so we just place some towers. Let's say we place one here, we place one here, and we start the wave. Start it, and yeah, the actions get started. So we can basically start, waiting for the creatures to start attacking us. Yeah, and having fun, really. So the resources that you win from tower defense will also be used to start upgrading your gear, your weapons, and things like this, right? So you can start really enjoying to use these resources, and there'll be a lot of different use cases. Like, see, the main point of many games these days is that they don't really create any use cases. They just are creating games that they earn you funds, earn you tokens, but there are no real use cases for these tokens. People are simply dumping them on the market for ETH and withdrawing it from the game. But imagine the ecosystem where you actually need to use these resources, need to use these tokens on the constant basis. That the game that makes you feel really excited, you wouldn't want to withdraw any funds from the game. You would want to reinvest these funds and keep playing and improving and building stuff and upgrading stuff, etc., etc., etc. It makes it really exciting for you to kind of enjoy the gaming experience, right?
Yeah. Now, when is the tower defense going to be available?
It's in the process. It's the game that is not built very quickly, but once it's built, you will definitely enjoy it. It will be super addictive. Cool. Different locations, different quests, different things, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that there is an open world coming up as well, right? So because it's a metaverse, it's not just some turn-by-turn action. So just quickly share the screen with you.
Let me add that.
You would be able to enjoy the open world, which will be obviously 3D and VR compatible, right? So you would be able to, do stuff with your character. We've got like Raptorian here. So you're going to be able to run around and open your own office here, or do stuff here as well, and buy spaceships and park your spaceships at the Sidus station and do a whole bunch of different things, right? So it's very cool space, and you interact with some other players, and you will definitely enjoy the metaverse itself because it's cool, because it's really interactive in a way. And everything, as I said, will be launched step by step. So don't expect everything to be built overnight, because first of all, we are doing it as the first time explorers. Like, nobody in the world has ever built anything like that in the browser. We are literally the first of the first. That's basically, that means what? That means that, we have to be very careful about what we do, about the security, about hacking capabilities of those hackers who can stole things, and we just have to be careful about everything. The whole infrastructure has to be super efficient and super safe for you to use, not to be scared about the possible, exploits that we see many times. Like Axie got impacted by the exploit for $650 million. Damn, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. So much.
And actually really proved the idea that there was an appetite for play to earn, but it was just too simple, right? You essentially could earn the SLP token. The only one use case for that SLP token was for breeding. And that was big when the game was expanding massively, because then people had to buy their starting team. And so people were making money by breeding. And so the token was really in demand, because they need to create more characters. But as the game just kind of went through a lull, then the token totally took a dive because there was just one use case for it. So it just didn't have enough depth. But that, like some people are saying, play to earn is dead. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Have you been following this? It's just that was version 1. I mean, it was version 1.0 Axie Infinity. And so like there will be a lot more depth of games that come out. What's great about blockchain gaming and play to earn is really the idea of gaming going towards a direction where people have vested interest in the game. They have ownership in the game. They have ownership in the items that they earn. You've created a way that people can have ownership in the different modules in the game, which is mind-blowing. When I saw that, or you were talking to Dr. Stuff and I about that, I was like, I gotta have you on the channel and just share, because I wasn't, even though I was even somewhat familiar with the game, I didn't even understand this aspect of it. And how cool of that is that you can really create a community, that the community can have ownership in shared profitability if the game gets a lot of traction.
Absolutely. I mean, you're completely right. We still have a lot of time to get prepared, time to shine, because what will happen is, like you just mentioned it was a version 1.0. We haven't even had a chance to actually prove anything as yet. Like, for the game for the metaverse to exist, nothing is built overnight. The Rome wasn't built overnight. Like the Axie was just a little sign of hope for the whole gaming industry to start changing its shape. But it wasn't even a start. I wouldn't say it was a start. They had such a short period of time to really do anything about. But until obviously then they got hacked, right? And the whole thing was just got crashed because people lost trust in it. But once again, I have nothing against these guys. They're brilliant. They've actually initiated the process of really showing what's the Web3 application is in the gaming industry, right? So they are changing lifestyle of many people. It was a game changer for many local families in the Philippines. These guys were earning so much that it just changed their lives in a better way. Like not so many even governments can do that, but the game was able to change lives of many thousands of people and improve their life standards. And this is what we're aiming for. We're not just building a metaverse as well, but we're actually trying to create it in a way of actually helping people, solving social problems, right? So people helping people to get out of the poverty. Use some average devices, low quality devices to enter the metaverse and start earning some funds. Become someone, right? So if you don't mind, if you share the screen again, I will quickly show you something. Like in our game, you can become anyone you want. There is a whole list of professions. You can become a biologist, you can become a stonemason, carpenter, gunsmith, navigation officer, pilot, gem cutter. You don't need to play, you don't need to fight. If you don't want to fight, don't fight. Just open your own jewelry workshop, right? Just simple jewelry workshop. And all you do, you cut gems inside of our game, improving their quality to level them up. Level 1 gem, level 2 gem, level 3 gem, level 4 gem. And all of these gems have different capabilities, and they add extra abilities to, let's say, navigation system of the spaceship. So the guild or someone who wants to have more power inside of the game, they will come to you and they will ask you to produce a highly valuable gem that can take you 1 month to make. 1 month. But once you make it and you make it legendary, you can sell this gem for $100,000. See what I mean? Yeah. That could be a game changer. Like people will pay for it because they know it's going to bring them value. It's going to improve their spaceship capabilities. But for you, it's going to make $100,000. Like, I mean, seriously, who wouldn't want to be a jeweler inside of our game? Like I would love to be a jeweler. The same with gunsmith, or the same with carpenter, the same with navigation officer. If you have good skills in navigating the spaceship, that would be able to travel much more than any other spaceship in the Sidus station, the guild will come after you and will offer you a salary to work on their spaceship, to take them to the planets they always wanted to go. The reason why they always wanted to go to these planets is because the planet is full of valuable, precious materials. Local inhabitants they can kill and earn some money. and do some trading deals with the local NPCs. Just simply occupy the planet, occupy it, colonize it, make it yours, make an army, and declare a war against the entire Sidus nation because you're backed by the majority of the guilds. You can do so much in this game. It's just I'm so bloody excited. I'm so pumped up for it, man. I can't wait to play this game. Like, I'm seriously making a game that I will play 24/7. I don't care what my wife is going to say.
Right. What's cool is, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of the audience members get it, they understand where this is going and that it's so much bigger than non-crypto people, non-gaming people can see, literally towards like a Ready Player One type universe. And what's funny is how movies have kind of actually led technology. There was, an old show forever ago called Star Trek, and they would use these little communication devices that they would flip over to communicate to each other. And actually, cell phones were then later modeled after that. They developed that, and they used to like talk to each other on screen. Back there, that technology was not available.
Oh,
You
yeah.
couldn't do that. It was
Absolutely.
just made up in the movie. Yeah, that's exactly how we're
Absolutely.
communicating now, right? And so what's funny is games have kind of led technology and movies have kind of led technology. I think Ready Player One kind of painted a vision that helped people see what would be possible down the road with gaming. And yeah, it's fun to see that come together and be part of it, because that is where gaming is going. That's really only possible because of blockchain. Because blockchain gives you the ability to own assets in games, because games could never get that kind of depth and penetration without that ability for you to actually own the items yourself, right? Because the game always owned them. You didn't own them.
Like,
If you can't sell them, then you don't really own them.
absolutely. Oh, you're 100% right. Totally legitimate point. If you share my screen, like the whole sort of thing that we're trying to create in terms of the feeling, the quality of spaceships, everything is just designed in super details and like dimensions, the designs, the feeling has to be super unique. We can't make anything that is similar to Star Wars or Star Atlas. So that's why all we are creating is unique. It's registered by the IP rights of the Sidus, and it's pretty cool concept. So I'll quickly show you the other one. For example, let me just share the screen with you again, if you don't mind. Like, these are the shuttles. They're like the taxis inside of our game. They're like they have different seating capacity, right? So you can actually transport people from point A to point B and charge them for tickets. And once again, they have like different shapes, different designs. Like, it's just a masterpiece. Like, and it's made by top quality artists that are quite expensive though, but they're totally worth it. There are just so many variations of different spaceships inside of our game that you will just get blown away. Like, it's I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna be a sugarcoating guy, but I think we can definitely challenge Star Atlas in terms of the spaceship's designs for sure. I'm up for it. I'm up for a challenge, bro. Yeah,
I like
it's
that you're giving people some in-depth and some ability to create some ownership in it, right? So I've been waiting for a game that's been in development called Star Citizen, and unfortunately for all of us, you don't have true ownership of the items, and
oh yeah,
it's been in development for like 12 years, and really I think by the time they're finally released and going, it'll be somewhat obsolete, because blockchain gaming will be a thing where you do have true ownership, where you can sell items, you can sell the resources that you collected, you can sell the resources that you upgraded, and that some people will make their full living within a game, and that's pretty exciting. Axie Infinity was like step one that kind of allowed people to see the vision of what things could be, but so basic and simplified. But it proved that this model works within a bigger game that has a lot more depth, that there literally could be occupations that people do within the game. And it has so many people playing the game that they literally could live full time off of adding value
absolutely.
within the game.
If you share the screen again, quickly show you something else as well. Like, we've created some very unique generative art system inside of our metaverse for you to be allowed to be able to produce and customize your own weapons using different parts. So like when you travel in our metaverse, you can collect little parts, trigger, magazine, accelerator, turbine, etc. Right? So they all have different principles, they all have different rarity, and then you go to the local NPC to customize it and pull it all out together. And all of these weapons have their own physics, they have their own capabilities, and you really can make something outstanding, something that not many people are able to see, to have, like something very rare, because you collect these very rare parts, and then you can sell these weapons for thousands and thousands of dollars, because people will be willing to pay money for it, because they will be really distinguished in a way. And you know, those items, those, like, you know, everything is like super detailed inside of our game, that it really makes a huge difference in terms of the customization and how you're going to fight against other players, and, you know, what would be your capabilities and how you can use these weapons in terms of the variations. There will be hundreds and thousands of them, right? Hundreds and thousands of variations, not like 10 weapons, not 20 weapons, but hundreds and thousands of them. And yeah, it's definitely making a big difference in terms of the metaverse spaces, because you need this stuff. For example, I'll quickly try to show you something so you can see what I mean. So that stuff here, hold on. Second.
It's fun seeing behind the scenes at all the things that you're working on.
Yeah, just little things. I can't share too much, unfortunately, but you have to understand that it has so much potential. It just it's beautiful. It's to be a developer and creator of such a massive thing. It just makes your mind blown. Just 1 second, hold on. Trying to play something for you. There we go. All right, so
Seeing
I'll
a
just
little
quickly share my screen with you. Hold on.
Okay.
Yep. So basically what you see on the screen here, we've created an AI generative system that allows us to create galaxies that are not repeatable. So when you travel in the open space, you will explore completely new places for yourself that you've never seen before. Can you see anything? It's like a dark
No,
screen.
it's all dark.
That's
We see
strange.
the play button happening, but we can't see what's on it.
That's very
If
strange.
you just share your monitor, it might. If you're able to see it on your monitor and you share screen, but just share the monitor, maybe we'll have better luck.
Well, let's try that part, yeah. No worries.
We saw it for a second there.
Oh, did you? Okay. Let me just try again. Can you try?
I'm not seeing anything on it.
Okay. Let me share the screen then. Probably it's gonna work. Maybe you can see that now.
There we go. That will probably work.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah. So what you see here now is like AI generative art, and the galaxy was created here purely by AI, not by us. So like when you travel in the open space, everything will be like super unique. All of the stars, the explosions, the planets, the landscapes, they would not be repeatable in a way, and they will be like forming thousands of variations that you can see on the screen, different colors, different varieties. Different AI concepts, etc., etc., etc. So it will really be an enjoyable adventure in this space. So it's like, this is what games are lacking sometimes. It's just they don't really have that depth in terms of the visual part of the game. And this is what we're trying to solve as well.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. I appreciate all your time today. I think the audience is understanding why I was excited to share with them what's going on with your game and the level of depth to it, and especially the investment side. That's really cool. I hadn't seen something like that out right now, so it was really exciting to see that and then share it with the audience. Thank you, Dan, so much for joining us. I'd love to have you back in a month or two and just come on, share where you guys are and what's new.
Absolutely, yeah. Happy to do that. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks so much, Dan. So the crypto market is slow right now. It just is. Just know that good decisions made during these pullbacks lead to life-changing ones when the market turns around. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember, no rain, no game, and we'll see y'all soon.
Came into the space chasing all of the games, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit bad before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. Buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling a parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, but time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong can soon become a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go of the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I'll follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, but time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.